I grew up in Slidell on the North Shore, and my family was from New Orleans. You know, family get-togethers and stuff. I mean, I spent every Mardi Gras of my life on Tchoupitoulas and Bordeaux at my grandpa's house. So I just know that, like, when I go other places, I just don't get that, like, I don't know. It just seems sterile. I don't know if that's a good word, but yeah, bland. It's just a part of me. I don't know how else to, it's just the music that I grew up with, the culture that I grew up with, I don't know anything else. My mom always listened to country music when I was growing up, and then my dad always listened to like 1950s and 60s Motown and like doo-wop and stuff like that. Like pretty much anything that they were playing on Tix FM. Or like the oldies station in the 90s, you know, because back in the 90s, the oldies station played 60s, 50s, and 60s music. My parents used to have this like 70s organ with like the little volume pedal and like the little knobs on the side. And I mean, as early as I can remember, I was playing it and like picking out notes and writing little like 3-note songs with my little fingers. And anytime I ever went, my Aunt Judy had a piano. Anytime I went to her house, I was on that piano the whole time. Like, then eventually my parents got me my own piano, and then I was banging on that all the time. And you know, I always sang. Andy always knew. I would always play around with his guitar. You know, he knew that I loved to sing, but I obviously wasn't pursuing it professionally. And we started renting the shotgun portion of the property to Russell Batiste. And Andy, you know, we got to be friends with him, you know, and we would hang out all the time. And one day, Andy told him that I could sing. So I went in there for a rehearsal, and he had me sing Lady Marmalade, and then I started singing with him. One day, and I was really, so I was doing all of that, plus going to mortuary school and working as, you know, and all of that. And then I did a show at the Public House on Ferret with the Consortium of Genius, with the the steampunk version. And I met Sean there, who was the trumpet player for the Dapper Dandies. And that was like 7 years ago now. So yeah, I've been doing all this trad jazz with the Dapper Dandies, and I was really wanting to start to move more into like the 50s and 60s jazz, because I was listening to a lot of Anita O'Day and Sarah Vaughan and stuff like that, Chet Baker. And so I started my own band, Tiffany Pollack and Company. These 2 horn player friends of mine, Jim Thornton and Bill Biwa, it was really their idea to start my band. I remember like many a times taking gigs with the Dapper Dandies, and the beauty about the Dapper Dandies is that I could leave at any point in time, and they could continue on without me, which was great for when I was in my mortuary career, because I was often on call. And I remember I was on call one New Year's Eve, and I had a gig with them, and I was like, oh my God, please nobody die, please nobody die, please nobody die. Like, when you're taking death calls at night, you're going up and you're picking up bodies from hospitals, from nursing homes, from residences. So flashback to like, I'm 25, and I'm working at a doctor's office, and I've had about 100 bajillion shitty jobs, waiting tables and receptionists and doctor's offices and whatnot. And so I'm like, you know, doing all right financially, feeling kind of stable in my life. So I'm like, maybe this would be a good time for me to like go to school, because I really need to be like doing something more than this. I cannot do this forever, I will die. So it was between beauty school, EMT, or mortuary school. And I felt like mortuary school had the makeup and hair aspects of beauty school, the excitement and gore of EMT. All wrapped up with like the knowing that you'll be like serving your community and making a difference in people's lives and doing something meaningful. So I went with mortuary school. My mom went to nursing school and then dropped out when they found out that they could adopt me. So she had a medical encyclopedia, a set of a medical encyclopedia growing up, and I like would pour through it all the time, like all the gross anatomy. Like I loved it. I loved it. I've just found myself in these situations where doors just open and I'm like, why yes, I would love to do that. Thank you.